It started with a simple, harmless message. At least, that's what I told myself. A laughing emoji. A playful, "You looked stressed today." One message turned into two, then late-night chats, inside jokes, and stolen glances across the office. I didn't know that small screen would open a door I'd never be able to close. To my amazing subscribers, thank you for being here. Your support means the world to me. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss these real, raw, dramatic stories. Your support helps bring more true-to-life tales like this to light. My name is Aaron West. I live in Pennsylvania, married to a woman I once thought I'd grow old with. Ember, my high school sweetheart. We have 2 kids at the quiet little home on a tree-lined street. And from the outside, our life probably looked perfect. But perfect is a dangerous illusion. I work in marketing at a mid-sized firm downtown. Nothing flashy, just long hours, campaign briefs, office coffee, and scrolling through spreadsheets until your eyes hurt. Ember stays at home mostly managing the kids and the chaos of domestic life, which I know is no easy job either. But somewhere between bills, responsibilities, and routines, the fire between us dimmed. Maybe we let it. Maybe we were too tired to notice. Then came Lena Morales. She joined our department last spring. Bright eyes, confident voice, a quick wit that could silence any meeting room with laughter. She wasn't just attractive, she was magnetic. Everyone liked her, but she seemed to like me differently. It started small. We were both working late one night on the Jackson pitch, sitting across from each other with takeout cartons and half-empty coffee cups between us. I made some joke about marketing jargon, and she laughed, really laughed. She called me adorably grumpy. The next morning, my phone buzzed. Still grumpy this morning, or did the caffeine kick in? Lena. I smiled. Just a message. Harmless. I replied. Not grumpy. Just allergic to mornings. She sent back a laughing emoji. That was it. A tiny, digital spark. It felt like nothing. But now, looking back, that was the moment it all began. Over the next week, we exchanged more messages. Work-related at first, then less so. We joked. We vented. She told me about her dog. I told her about the time my son tried to flush a banana. She said she felt like she could talk to me. I said I felt the same. I didn't realize I was looking forward to her messages more than my wife's goodnight kiss. One afternoon, during a team lunch, Lena texted me from across the table. You have that serious save-the-world face on again. It's cute. I laughed to myself. Ember hadn't called me cute in over a year. After that, I started staying a little later after work. Lena always seemed to be working late, too. We'd talk. Nothing scandalous. But the air between us felt different. Charged. Then one Friday, I came home late again. Ember was sitting on the couch, arms folded. You work late every night now? She asked, not angry, just tired. We got a major campaign. It's crunch time, I said. It wasn't a lie, just not the whole truth. Later that night, after she went to bed, I found myself checking my phone. Lena had sent a meme. Something silly, something flirty. I smiled, typed a quick reply, and paused. That tiny moment, my wife asleep in the other room, me smiling at another woman's text. That was the beginning of the emotional affair. The line I never meant to cross was suddenly behind me. The night after that meme, I laid awake in bed, staring at the ceiling. Ember's breathing was soft and steady beside me, but my mind was elsewhere, scrolling back through Lena's messages. Her jokes, her warmth, the way she saw me. How did something so small get this far? The next few days blurred into stolen glances, longer text threads, and coincidental lunches. It was subtle, too subtle to feel dangerous, until it wasn't. One afternoon, she walked past my desk and slipped a sticky note onto my keyboard. It read, "Meet me in the parking lot after work. Just want to talk." My heart skipped, not in fear but excitement. That should have been my first warning sign. When I got there, she was leaning against her car, arms folded, wind brushing her dark hair across her face. She smiled when she saw me. "Don't worry, I'm not kidnapping you," she joked. "I just wanted to be away from everyone for a second." I nodded, unsure where this was going. "I like talking to you, Aaron," she said. "I know you're married. I'm not trying to be a homewrecker or anything. but I'd be lying if I said I didn't feel something. There it was. That moment where everything tilts, when a door swings open and your old life sits on one side, and something thrilling, forbidden, and terrifying waits on the other. I feel it too, I whispered. I shouldn't have, but I did. She took a step closer. Her eyes searched mine, as if asking permission I wasn't strong enough to deny. I think about you a lot, she said softly. At night, at work, even on weekends. My phone buzzed just then. Ember, can you grab milk on your way home? Reality hit like cold water. I stepped back. This is complicated, I said. I have kids, a family, a life. I know, she said, but you don't seem happy. And I wasn't. That was the truth I never wanted to admit. That night, I sat across from Ember at the dinner table. She talked about the kids, the neighbor's dog, the bills. I nodded, smiled, pretended. But inside, I was spiraling. Because Lena had unlocked something I hadn't felt in years. Desire, attention, validation. Days passed. I tried to pull away, ignored a few texts, focused on home. But then came Monday. She cornered me in the break room. You've been distant, she said quietly. I need to focus on my marriage, I said. I meant it. I really did. She nodded, but her eyes said something else. Hurt, disappointment, maybe even challenge. You're right, she said, but I'll still be around, in case you ever want more than just surviving. That sentence haunted me. Later that week, Ember planned a weekend getaway with the kids to visit her mom. She asked me to come. I said I had work. The truth? I had already texted Lena. You free Saturday? She replied instantly. Always. Saturday morning arrived with a strange calm in the air. Ember kissed me goodbye at the door with the kids bouncing in the back seat, excited for their weekend with Grandma. I smiled, waved them off, and lied straight through my teeth. I'll miss you guys so much. The second the taillights disappeared, the silence inside the house hit different. Not peaceful, tempting. I sat on the couch, phone in hand, thumb hovering over Lena's contact. You still want to come over? It took her less than 30 seconds to reply. I'm already in the car. I didn't know if I was excited or ashamed. Both, probably. That duality, the part of me that knew I was wrecking something precious and the part that felt alive for the first time in years, was splitting me wide open. When Lena arrived, she didn't knock like a guest. She walked in like she belonged there. Her jeans were tight, her sweater too soft, and her eyes? They didn't blink once when they saw me. This feels wrong, I said, even as I let the door shut behind her. She tilted her head. Then tell me to leave. I didn't. We sat on the couch first, awkwardly close. Talked about work, coworkers, everything but what we were both really thinking. Her knee brushed mine. My fingers twitched. I shouldn't have come, she said, barely above a whisper. But I couldn't stay away. That sentence? That did it. The next moment happened fast, like a dam breaking. Her lips were on mine, urgent and warm, and my arms pulled her in as if they knew this moment had been building for months. Clothes didn't come off all at once. They fell in pieces like guilt, like promises, like the person I was supposed to be. We didn't make love. We escaped. We indulged. We crossed a line and lit it on fire. Afterward, she lay against my chest, drawing little circles on my skin. Her voice was quiet. Do you regret it? My throat tightened. I didn't know what to say. Regret? Maybe. But also relief. Also panic. Also something I didn't have words for. I don't know. I finally said. The rest of the weekend blurred. We stayed in bed, ordered food, watched old movies, played house. But Sunday evening, as headlights appeared in the driveway and my daughter's laughter rang outside the door, reality hit like a freight train. Lena was gone by then. Everything was wiped down. No trace left. Ember walked in smiling, carrying bags and stories, and that familiar love in her voice. I kissed her. I held my daughter. I unpacked the groceries. And inside, I knew everything had changed, because a door that once seemed locked had been kicked open, and I wasn't sure I could close it again. Guilt has a sound. It's not always loud. Sometimes, it's in the silence between words, in the way someone's eyes linger too long, or how your hands hesitate before a kiss. For me, it was every time Ember spoke to me with love in her voice, and I had to fake the smile in return. The morning after the weekend, everything felt normal. Too normal. Breakfast, school drop-off, the usual traffic-filled commute to work. But inside me, something wasn't settling. My chest felt like it held a ticking clock, counting down to something I couldn't name. And then came Lena. She passed my desk like always, folder in hand, her smile composed, her tone flat. Professional. Like it never happened. That's what scared me the most. I followed her to the break room later that day, my stomach in knots. She poured coffee like it was any Monday morning. Are we going to talk about it? I asked quietly. She didn't even look up. What's there to talk about? I don't know. Everything. She finally met my eyes. You have a wife. I'm not here to ruin your life. What we had this weekend, that's yours to carry. It hit like a slap. Cold, calculated truth. I didn't mean for it to go that far, I whispered. Yeah, well, neither did I. She picked up her coffee. But we did. Before I could say another word, she was gone. The days that followed were torture. At home, Ember kept smiling, planning date nights, teasing me about how relaxed I looked since her mom took the kids for the weekend. Every laugh from her hit me like a dagger. At work, Lena returned to being untouchable. Her laughter with coworkers, the way she never once glanced at me during meetings, it felt like she erased me. Like I was just a chapter she'd already closed. But I couldn't. Every time I closed my eyes, I remembered her fingers against my skin, her breath against my neck, her voice whispering my name. And then, one night, Ember found it. A receipt from a delivery service. A meal for two. The address? Our home. The time? Saturday night. Were you home alone? She asked, frowning as she held the receipt up. I froze. Yeah. I didn't feel like cooking. You ordered 2 entrees. Think fast. Think fast. I was hungry. Leftovers for Sunday. She didn't buy it. I could see it in her eyes. But she didn't press further. Not yet. Later that night, while she was in the shower, I sat at the edge of our bed, staring at my phone. A message from Lena sat unread. We need to be more careful. That was it. No emotion. No warmth. Just cold, calculated warning. I deleted it. But it was too late. My world had already started crumbling. One crack at a time. And I knew it wouldn't be long before everything I built came crashing down. Secrets never stay hidden forever. No matter how well you hide them. Erase messages, delete receipts, avoid eye contact. They have a way of clawing through the surface like something alive, desperate to breathe. It all started unraveling the following Thursday. Ember had been quieter than usual all week. She didn't ask about work, didn't laugh as much. She'd look at me, sometimes like she was trying to believe me, try to remember if she ever had a reason not to. And then she said the words I feared most. Lena called. I dropped my fork mid-dinner. What? She said you left your jacket in her car. Weird, right? Her voice was calm, almost too calm. I didn't even know you two were that close. My mouth went dry. My pulse pounded in my ears. I must have. She said she saw it when she was cleaning out her trunk. Ember looked me dead in the eye. You've never even mentioned riding in her car. There it was. The first thread pulled. I tried to fix it with more lies. Said Lena had given me a ride after a happy hour. Said my car broke down. That she was just being kind. But Ember wasn't stupid. She stared at me, eyes shimmering with something between heartbreak and disgust. I checked your GPS history, she said quietly. That's when I knew it was over. She didn't scream, didn't throw anything. She just stood up, walked over to the kitchen, and leaned on the counter, her back to me. How long? She asked. I didn't answer. Her voice cracked. How long, Matt? Just once, I whispered. She laughed, dry, bitter. There's no such thing as just once when it comes to betrayal. She didn't sleep in our bed that night. Didn't speak to me the next day. By the weekend, she had packed a bag for herself and the kids and left to stay with her sister. No threats. No angry texts. Just silence. And that silence? It was louder than any fight. Lena kept her distance, too. A few short work emails. No calls. No eye contact. We both knew the damage was done. What began as a flirtation, as some foolish escape, ended with a family torn apart, and a man left alone with guilt that tasted like rust on the tongue. I sat in our empty house that Sunday night, staring at the living room wall, haunted by what I'd lost. Not just my wife, but trust. Security. The life we had spent years building, shattered in a matter of days. Sometimes, we lie to ourselves more than anyone else. We say we're just harmlessly texting, just blowing off steam, just flirting. But that's how it starts. One message, one invitation, one mistake. And it doesn't stop there. It never stops there. Now, I live with the echo of choices I can't undo. I live with a house that's too quiet and a heart that's too heavy. And if you're watching this, thinking it could never happen to you, remember, it always starts small, until it doesn't. That's the Yindi.